Hello and welcome to the Triangle Podcast, episode 9, and we're fresh off of Christmas Day.
Yo, how was your Christmas, guys?
It was Christmas. It was alright.
Always spending time with family, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was good.
A lot
of eating.
Yeah, a lot of basketball.
Yes, most definitely. A lot of football too, but
Yeah, which was surprising. Like Christmas on a Sunday it felt weird. Like
I didn't watch one football game. I'm sorry.
Nah, I watched some football too.
I try to watch as much basketball as possible, but I was in a Hispanic household and it wasn't my house either. The basketball that I did watch was in Espanol.
Oh.
And I just kept hearing Sporzinga. It wasn't fun, but
wrong sport.
Carmelo. Well, they say goal because it's a field goal.
I had to watch the highlights and catch it there. I wish I saw one half of the Golden State Warriors game, but we will talk about it. Let's talk about it. The Christmas games that happened yesterday.
You want to start it off with Golden State or the Knicks?
Let's start it off with how the day started off.
Well, we'll go into. I think the Cavs and Warriors should be the last.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's start it off how the day started off, except the Cavs. We'll keep that last.
Yeah.
We had the Boston Celtics at Madison Square Garden facing the New York Knicks, and Boston beat the Knicks 119-114.
Watching this game as a Knicks fan, I was obviously real excited. I mean, they're playing in the Garden on Christmas Day. You know, Carmelo's gonna show up. Derrick Rose
he always
being
does
there
well
now.
On Christmas Day too.
Yeah, he had 15 points in the third quarter, so he was balling. Mm-hmm. And then Porzingis, of course, him playing on Christmas Day. Now it was a dream come true for him. It was really good game. The teams were going back and forth constantly throughout the game, but Boston, in the end, they pulled through. And Marcus Smart was playing phenomenal. He hit the ice. He hit that 3-pointer, right?
Iced the game. Most definitely.
I thought it was a deep 2, but I looked at the replay and it was a 3, and that pretty much iced the game for them. Jay Crowder played really well. Al Horford, he was getting a little heated with Carmelo. Did you see that when him and Carmelo were getting into it?
Yeah. The thing is, now you got to watch out for the Celtics because they're heating up.
The Celtics are heating up now because they're healthy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Al Horford's back. Didn't you say the Celtics are like 18-3 in the East right now?
They're 18-13.
Oh.
They're not doing too well, but I can definitely see them. Their bench is playing really well. At least, and they're playing at the Garden, which isn't always an easy place.
Yeah, especially
to play
on
at.
It's been a little easier as of late.
Yeah. But those 3-and-D guys are really stepping up, like those Jay Crowders and Marcus Smarts and Gerald Green. You better watch out for these Celtics. Even Al Horford's getting into it. Mm-hmm. You know, Brad Stevens is a phenomenal coach, and he's going to get his guys to play eventually. And now this is when the stretch gets serious. People are getting injured, so now you can make up a lot of games. You know, with Blake Griffin being out, J.R. Smith is out now. So these are key games that a healthy team like the Celtics can start winning more games.
Yeah, and you can't forget about Isaiah Thomas either. Like past 5 or 6 games, he's putting up like 30-point games. Like he's playing phenomenal.
Right?
Yeah,
5'9".
He's playing phenomenal.
It's ridiculous. I think Celtics are definitely a team to look out for right now. They're heating up, and I was telling you guys this. I think last podcast, I think I predicted Celtics to beat one team. It might have been Spurs, but I was just saying how Celtics were heating up, and it was the right moment too. You know, end of the year, they're ending the year off pretty damn well, I would say so. Now the Knicks, I mean, they held their own.
They played well. Derrick Rose drove the basket really well. I watched most of the game when I was getting ready to go down to see my family, and the way Derrick Rose and Porzingis played together was really well because Carmelo was really struggling in the first half. I only think he made like 3 shots in the first half, and then he came on, like I said, he really was scorching in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, he was doing really good too, but seeing Derrick Rose play the way he did yesterday on Christmas was special to me because it looked like the old Derrick Rose and not giving a shit who's in the paint.
Yeah, he's having fun. That's one thing. That's to keep an athlete happy is definitely they play better when they're happy. They play better, but the Knicks need to do something about that bench. Guys need to make.
Yeah,
they only lost by 5 points, but they need guys to knock down key shots and somebody guard the 3. I can't believe how many threes these guys hit. It was incredible.
Yeah, Courtney Lee looked really good too as well, and Joakim Noah surprised me. He actually put up some decent
putbacks and stuff.
Yeah, some decent plays.
Yeah, but
I'll give him that.
Celtics did shoot a lot of threes, but they made 14 of them. So
That's still great.
that's a lot. That's a lot of threes going up. That's when they started beating them. And they passed the ball way better than them.
Oh, yeah.
Passed the ball phenomenally.
Well, you gotta face it as what it is. Celtics is a better team.
Yeah, of
And
course.
They have a better
We all
coach.
know that, yeah.
They have a better squad. They're deeper. It's just, it was a win. I think I expected. I don't know about you guys, but
Well, we expected to win, but the way they came in, signing all these players, you're spending so much money on no wins. It's not like they're doing bad where they can, they didn't spend a lot of money so they can tank and get a first-round draft pick. They put a lot of money in it to at least appear in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which I think they will. But
At the end of the day,
if
the
you're
Knicks will be in the
they
playoffs.
didn't spend that much money. I
what
think
do you
you're gassing
mean?
it.
$72 million goes to Joakim Noah.
Yeah, but
40,
Courtney Lee.
40 mil to Courtney Lee. I don't know what Brandon Jennings got.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
But they got Derrick Rose off of nothing, man. They
Yeah,
got
but
Derrick
still,
Rose
it's-
off of sticks and stones. I don't think they spent much money, and they still got Porzingis on a rookie contract. I think that they're fine as is because everybody's getting with this inflated CBA that everybody's getting paid way too much.
I still think the Knicks are like maybe top 5 in the East right now. Like we're still playing really
You
good.
guys
I mean,
are number 5, 16
we
to
lost
14.
a few games and then we bounced back and maybe got a win or two and then we just lost yesterday.
I don't know.
Course,
I feel
so
like
we're still in it.
this game was a key game for them that somehow they couldn't pull through. Because if they could beat the Celtics, a healthy Celtics team, that really does prove something.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
They still play 2 more times in the year, I believe.
Yeah.
It's still early.
It was just to see if Knicks could maybe reach another level, and they just. I mean, they fell a little short.
It's just bad to say, it's the Knicks being the Knicks. I would.
But off to the next game, we got Chicago Bulls at San Antonio losing 119 to 100. San Antonio caught the dub.
Yeah, no surprises here. Greg Popovich laid out the game plan, beat Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler and the Chicago Bulls.
Now, you said we don't want to say Knicks being the Knicks. This is Spurs being the Spurs.
Yeah,
man.
of course.
Just completely outclassing teams.
Yeah.
That's
and
all it is.
I was talking to Jesus off mic. LaMarcus Aldridge made his first 11 jumpers in the game.
Yeah, ended with 33 points.
Yeah, like he had a phenomenal first half, and Kawhi Leonard had a really good game as well. The Spurs they're the Spurs for a reason. They exposed Chicago.
Yeah.
They beat them by what, 19 points?
Yep.
Yeah.
In
So
the first half, at one point, it was 30 to 15. Like they just came out the gate. At one point, it was 30 to 10. I'm looking back on some stats now. 30 to 10. Like they're just running all over them.
Start off the damn game.
Like
man.
you know what I
That's
mean? Just to get
savage.
flooded out like that, but which is suspect by the Bulls because you have veteran guys on that. Your first 3 guys are veterans: D Wade, Rondo, Butler. These even Lopez. He's been in the league for like 10 seasons.
Solid
now.
player too. Underrated. Underrated.
And just getting blown by getting your brakes blown off. Basically, it's pretty sketchy to see. That, you know what I mean, if you just put up a lot of points against them so fast that they have no shooters to come back, there's no threats that they really have.
Yeah, last week
putting a lot of points up.
Last week, Wade was interviewed, and he after they lost at home, they were getting booed. I forget who they played, and after the game, he was interviewed, and like the reporter asked, like, "Oh, how do you feel about your own hometown fans like booing you after like?" A tough loss like that, and he said he didn't like support it obviously because it's his fan base, and like I kind of agree with Dwayne Wade because if you think about it, those fans come to support them, and then at the end of the day, the players play for them. It's still too early to tell right now because they were playing really good in the beginning of the season, and then like they're like a sub 500 team right now, so I think. I think Chicago, like right now, needs to chill with them because they're gonna figure it out. They're not gonna be in the finals tomorrow, is what he said. You know what I mean? So it's a work in progress.
To put it into perspective, they're 3-7 in their last 10 games.
Yeah,
and they're
struggling.
They fell to. They were at one point number 3 seed. Now they're number 9 at 14 and 16.
It's falling fast.
They fell hard and fast, and a team like that shouldn't happen, I find. And
the only thing you could hope for
every
is...
team in the East is really struggling right now, except, the top 3, the Cavs, Raptors, Celtics.
Yeah.
The Hornets just lost to the Nets.
Yeah. The thing to look forward to is obviously the new year. New year, new team. You never know. You've seen it with other teams in the past before. So maybe Chicago could get it rolling and push for the playoffs earlier in January, February, March, and that way they could cruise in the last month in April and be in the playoffs and make a run.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk about this Oklahoma City and Minnesota game. We had Oklahoma City winning 112 to 100. Westbrook dropped 31.
Yeah. Did he have another triple-double? I don't think
he had another triple-double. I know he definitely had a double-double.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Cooking,
like, it's double-doubles. I remember back when Kevin Love was getting it, ironically, on Minnesota when Kevin Love was there.
Mm-hmm.
When Kevin Love was, like, getting double-doubles consistently, I know it was a big thing.
Yeah.
And now it's
triple-doubles.
It's Westbrook, and it's triple-doubles. It's
yeah.
like, did he get one today? Is he keeping his streak alive? Or when was the last time he didn't get a double-double? I'm going to have to check that out.
I don't know. I think his season stats right now is like 31, 10 and 10. If you could correct me there, but this guy he's having a historic season. Probably honestly one of the best NBA seasons ever, in my opinion. If you
he's
really
averaging
look at it.
31.7, 10.9 assists, 10.4 rebounds.
See what I mean?
Like, yeah, averaged a triple-double midway through the season.
This guy's solid.
I think he's going to maintain it, too.
Me too.
To be honest.
If he doesn't win MVP, that's horrible. Did you, before we talk about the game, did you see he was putting up shots pregame, and he made the shot, and he ran off the court, and people said, thank you, Kyrie, but he said... In the interview after the game, he said, "Oh, thank you, Jamie," or something
to his
like
trainer's
that.
daughter.
Yeah,
he got really offended. He threw some F-bombs.
He's tired of the KD and
speculation,
the whole hate.
Which I wish he kind of did say thank you, Kyrie.
That'd be hilarious.
It was icing on the cake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just we'll get to that topic a little later on. But that just shows you that Russell Westbrook is a different type of guy. If this guy, I was thinking, like, okay, maybe there's some other guys who could win MVP because, the Rockets were going on their little run. But if this man who's literally averaging a triple-double hasn't been seen in 40 years, like, how do you not give this man credit? His team is still... I agree. His team lost a superstar, a top 3 player in the NBA, and they're still floating around top 5 in the West. Like, you don't see that. A lot of teams, when they lose a star, they just plummet fast. Yeah. And it's, he does have good solid players around him, like Oladipo and his Cantor became up solid. Pretty good yesterday. And Steven Adams, like, these guys aren't all-stars, but they're decent players, and he's somehow making them work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's definitely he lights a fire on them.
So I just looked it up, and I had counted while we were on air. In the last 31 games into the season, he had 6 games where he didn't have a triple-double. To put that into perspective.
Yeah.
That's
like 3 40-plus games with a triple-double.
Insane.
Like, these are 2K numbers.
22 assists the other day.
I was just going to refer to that. Like, this guy's a video game.
Like, it's rookie 2K numbers. Like, everyone's impressed about Steph Curry's deep threes. You got to be impressed about this guy's engine.
His all-around game.
Just all around.
His heart. The way he drives to the basket with full force. Like, this guy's amazing, man. And if he doesn't win MVP, the NBA is rigged.
And it's funny how guys say, "Oh, you like to rest them." Like, we gotta understand. Like, Russell Westbrook is older than Kyrie.
Yeah.
And this man's playing every single game. And people forget Russell Westbrook did have a serious knee injury a couple seasons ago. And this guy is still running at 100%, like, giving it all he has. Mm-hmm. And I always thought that KD should have been the leader of that team and Russ should go. But the way Russ has these guys playing, maybe it's the other way around.
Completely fooled you, right? I remember you were a big KD fan back then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simmered down a little bit now that he's on the Warriors, but
they're one key away from being contenders again.
Oh,
that's definitely.
I wish James Harden would have stayed. Imagine that.
That's another. It would have been playing who's alpha male kind of thing. Yeah. They just need a solid player who will follow his lead, like a guy who can knock down shots. Like we always.
Westbrook fits into this role so good right now.
Yeah, he does. He's the leader of the team. So
just get a guy who's
full weight is on his back.
Like we always forget, Rudy
Gay. Yeah.
Rudy Gay's a 20-point player, like an average 20-point player. That's what he needs.
They need. That's the. I've been telling people that he needs Rudy Gay.
It's not like Anthony Morrow who will drop 20 occasionally. Or Victor Oladipo, who's averaging 15 to 16. Like we need a guy.
Robertson.
Yeah, they're not knockdown guys. Yeah. Like Rudy Gay throughout the season will get you 20+ points.
Yeah, I agree.
And Minnesota just continue to be a disappointment. We'll get on to that later when we finish our fast break segment where Jesse battles Jesus in the 5th round. to see who's better. Well, who got the brighter future, Wolves or Lakers, but that's later. But speaking of the Lakers, let's get on to this game where we caught an impressive victory over the Los Angeles Clippers.
Now, do you want to talk about that?
I'll talk about it for a bit. Excuse me.
Let me clear my throat.
This was a game that I was able to watch in completeness. And, man, I was impressed. From first quarter till on, we caught a spark early, and we kept it. I mean, in the beginning, we were actually down a little bit, but we were holding our own.
You pushed the pressure throughout the entire game.
The third quarter.
I'll say that.
That third quarter, our defense was impressive. And I seen Luke Walton say today where when we got everything put together, we as in Lakers, that defense is really a young defense that should really be on the lookout for, because we locked them up and we were up, what was it, 20 at one point?
Yeah, I think so.
It was beautiful to watch. I mean, Clippers did have CP3 on the bench and Griffin gone.
Blake injured.
But still, man, the Clippers squad is really deep. You had Redick drop 22 points, and he's not even.
Yeah, Jamal
I don't
Crawford
know what
dropping
option
22
is Redick,
also.
man.
Yeah.
Like he's.
People underestimate the Clippers bench as well. I think they played really well against the Lakers too. Even though the Lakers did really impress me with their defense against the Clippers. I mean, they're a top 10 team debatable in the NBA right now because they've been struggling. But if the Lakers beat like a team like the Los Angeles Clippers, at the end of the day, that's really impressive.
It's nice to get a name win, but you gotta look. We have to look beyond the numbers a little bit. Can anybody name you these starters that the Clippers had?
Raymond Felton started at the point guard slot.
So, and then you had old man Paul Pierce.
He started?
Was it? I can never say his name.
Mbamute.
DeAndre Jordan, who isn't, unless someone's throwing an alley up to him, he's not really putting points on the board.
Offensive threat at all.
But still impressive for the Lakers to get a win, because last year, even with these starters, Lakers weren't winning that game.
No.
You know what I mean? They would have still been struggling, and this game they looked comfortable. You know what I mean? When you have all your starters in double digits, that's how you win games.
Yeah, but a little frustration at the end of the game where I literally texted the group chat and I was like, "We're gonna blow this lead though," and we did blow the lead, but luckily we just held our own.
Yeah.
To sustain the
You
lead.
finished the game, which was important.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But there was just moments in the game where it was Lakers just breaking down, and that's one thing of this young team. Like,
It's easy to break their barrier.
It's as quick as it is to get hot, it's as easy to cool off and just lose your whole shit.
Yep.
That's how I felt. But now let's talk about almost like the main event. Like, you know what I mean? If this was a UFC card, this would have been the last game.
It has to be. It's a rematch.
It was in primetime TV at 3 o'clock, that's when to watch on a Sunday.
Most definitely.
But it was Cleveland outdoing the Warriors in the late of the game again.
Jesus, do you think this was game of the year so far?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, me too, man.
Like when you win about 1 point.
Yeah.
And the last shot.
The way Kyrie iced the game, man, was just so. Steph
Curry. It wasn't even a great shot either.
Steph Curry knew it was going in. He was on the bench holding his eyes, and
now,
he knew it was over.
Right about that. Now, what do you think of Curry sitting in a key, pivotal possession of the game?
I think it was the right thing to do. They had the best player on Kyrie in that situation. If you think about it, in that possession where Kyrie wanted to drive the basket and Klay stopped the drive to the right, and Kyrie, all his chance was to either pass the ball or turn around and shoot, and Kyrie did that, and Klay was right in his face, and he defended very well. Kyrie just got lucky, and he made the shot.
I agree it's the right thing to do, but
beast.
How do you feel? Like, I don't think about that. A unanimous MVP was sitting on the bench in the last 20 seconds of a game.
He came in after that possession by Kyrie, but
offensively.
If you think about it, look what happened in Game 7 when Curry was on Kyrie. I mean, they tried to switch it and hopefully have the stop that Steve Kerr wanted to, and Kyrie's just so good, man. He made the shot again.
This is where the power trip goes. That Steph Curry only got the ball 11 times to shoot it. Kevin Durant had the ball 23 times, shot it 23 times. Like, this is where we're getting confused on who's really the leader of this team, and this is where Kevin Durant. This is where we knew what was going to happen. It's like, who's going to be the leader of the team? If this time last year, Steph Curry would have been putting up 23, 30 shots. And now, like, it's a little confusing about this whose team is it now?
They still don't know.
Truthfully, I think it's hitting me that they were a better team last year, and I think Kevin Durant
definitely.
I think Kevin Durant is ruining that team.
Yes.
Like, if you think about it, last year, how many losses did they have on Christmas? 2 or 3?
Something like that.
Like,
in that vicinity. And now
I think they work best. Like, I have seen the games where Curry is the one dominating, and that's the games they're winning.
Yeah. It's just confusing, and now we're looking into it. Is he going to be on this team for long? If they don't win a championship this year,
KD or Curry?
With KD, if the Warriors don't win a championship,
KD's gone.
With KD, it's going to be weird. Like, people say, oh, they got rid of players like Barnes and Bogut and got KD. Oh, yes, it's phenomenal, but
they left a lot of pieces go. They ruined that chemistry. That bench was... Honestly, they had a pretty good bench, even though people think it wasn't like stacked as like other teams, like the Boston Celtics or something.
I don't know any top 3 player that's not taking at least more than 15 shots a game.
Yeah, I agree.
See, what I see is they need to be coached correctly, and I feel like they were in the first half. They were in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
especially the third.
Well, no, Cavs were always on their
working.
tails the whole time. And that's the thing. They couldn't get a substantial lead like they would last season. It was shooting people out of the house, basically, and that's what, except Curry wouldn't play the fourth quarter. The Cavs were just trailing them the whole game they wouldn't let them get a substantial lead and let them run with it. And we can tell they're once against their bench. Their bench had 5, 7, 9, 13 points. 13 points. Like, you got a couple guys getting donuts on your bench, and that's what the Warriors are about last year, is scoring points with their bench.
I feel that David West needs to be utilized more better.
Yeah, I agree.
JaVale McGee needs to be utilized better. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But these guys, they're not skilled players. Like, JaVale McGee's not a skilled player.
He's been playing a lot.
He's playing good, man.
More lately for that.
He's an athletic freak, and not many people got 7-footers on their team.
Yeah. And David West, I'm sorry, my man, you need to retire.
He's
you gotta lace him up. You can't run with these young guys. You know what I mean? Especially when they go to the small ball offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing. But like, when they're not playing an up-tempo offense, that should be his cue. That should be...
But when are the Warriors not playing up-tempo? That's the only way they won games last year.
That's true. They just ran over teams. It's just... David West, he's always been just a spot-up mid-range shooter.
And you know what the problem is? Because KD, yes, they have that beautiful passing, but KD, he's an ISO player.
Yeah. He had 33 points yesterday.
He had 36.
Oh, 36.
Yeah, and if you watch most of his points were on ISOs. They were hitting 2 or 3 dribbles and then shooting the ball. When this team was all about the pass, you know what I mean? They had the right guys. Like, Harrison Barnes playing that position isn't like a KD. He's not taking a couple dribbles and taking a shot. He's driving to the rim, getting a foul, or he shoots that deep ball.
I feel right now it's Steve Kerr who's messing up, to be honest. I feel like they need to be coached better.
It's just hard to get.
They need to find a system that works best for everybody, and I think that means Curry running it.
Sometimes it's hard.
Yeah, with that many stars, I understand.
It really is.
And I gotta give credit
to kept Luke Walton.
I got to give credit to the Cavs for obviously pulling through. They didn't even have J.R. Smith, and he's out for 4 months.
And that's
a big hit.
It's a pivotal 3-point shooter on that team, and somehow they still survive shooting the deep ball.
Now, do you see, as this like a scare for Warrior fans, do you see like Cleveland really
Who would you see winning in a 7-game series?
Because let's be honest. Like,
who do you see winning in the finals is the question.
I see the Cavs, and this is why I say this, because I've always been saying this for years. For some reason, LeBron James is Kevin Durant's kryptonite.
I agree.
That man for some reason.
I mean, but I don't think this year, because you just seen Durant drop 36. It's not like Durant was being shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Look what LeBron did to the Thunder with Westbrook and Harden though back in 2012.
That was a totally different,
totally different.
Yeah, but
totally
still,
different KD, totally different Westbrook, totally different Harden. I feel that and LeBron. I feel you seen KD play yesterday and there wasn't no stopping.
Oh, yeah, he did phenomenal.
But that was the thing. He was playing like he played on the Thunder.
And it's weird. They messed up a lot. Like, I don't know what Tyronn Lue's seen, because I saw so many players that it wasn't LeBron playing him, because every time LeBron played him, He stopped KD most of the time. Like, when they did the switch on Richard Jefferson, that's when he was getting burned.
Oh, speaking of Richard Jefferson.
Yeah. Or
there were some posters
break.
in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy
it really
posters
was.
all day.
Like, I didn't know how
honest.
LeBron didn't get a tech. Did you see that one dunk?
Yeah, he was hanging on the ring for like a minute straight.
First off, he dunked on. Is no one saying this? He dunked on Draymond Green. Like, Draymond Green had to, like, kind of jumped out of the way.
Draymond Green is the best defender in the league, by the way.
Stop it.
Just letting you know.
Stop it. You got guys named Kawhi Leonard out there.
He's the best defender in the league.
Top 15, that argument?
Oh, God.
Do you want to keep going with that game or no? Are we good?
I don't know.
I said...
I just got to say that Kyrie Irving is turning into a future MVP.
Oh, of course.
Without a doubt.
You think? I mean, we seen Kyrie just not do anything for the first 3 quarters.
He had a really good second half.
Yeah, but then when you come out in the fourth quarter, that's all about clutch moments. Kyrie is Kyrie is going to be Steph Curry's kryptonite because they couldn't even put him out there to defend him.
Yeah.
So that's pretty scary.
This man Kyrie trained with Kobe for a reason, man. Look what he did in Game 7 of the finals. Look what he did yesterday. He had 25. He had 7 steals, which people forget. He played amazing defense.
And you know what's crazy? That the freaking Cavs beat the Warriors with 3 bench players. You understand that? 3 bench players. And the 3 of them, 2 of them are grandpas. Mm-hmm. Shannon Fry and Richard Jefferson.
Did you see Richard Jefferson dunk on Clay?
Oh, that looked beautiful.
That was amazing.
I liked it a lot.
How old is he? Like 37, 38 years old, and he's still doing that? It's crazy.
Now, this is... I had to pull it up because you're talking about Kyrie Irving. I don't know where I would rank Kyrie Irving as a point guard right now. Do you have it? He's not top 5.
You're bugging.
He's top 5 to you guys?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Point guards.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
All right, who you got him over? All right, well, who's your top 5 point guards?
Right now, I think Kyrie Irving's doing better than Steph Curry because
I disagree.
We haven't seen him. Just because I haven't seen. Have you?
Kyrie Irving taking more shots than Curry all season. I just want you to know that.
But he's getting he's getting the ball more. LeBron James is taking the backseat on shooting, so that's where he's getting the more shots.
I mean, my top 5 point guards right now is obviously Russell Westbrook because the way he's playing this year. Yeah, he has to be. I'm sorry. Steph Curry, 2. I'm going to give it to James Harden because he's a point guard now.
I still think he's a shooting guard.
No, he's a point guard.
I'll give it to Chris Paul, and then I'll give it to Kyrie Irving at 5.
So, no Damian Lillard.
He's right behind Kyrie.
Well,
Damian Lillard's averaging 27 points and 6 assists and 5 rebounds, leading Kyrie in every stat, including free throw percentage.
Yeah, but look what Kyrie's doing
he's
for
putting
the
W's
Cavaliers team.
he's putting W's on the board.
Yeah, that's at the end of the day. And you argue.
You don't have Isaiah Thomas over him.
No.
Isaiah Thomas is averaging 27 points a game, 6. Same thing. He's
not playing with 3 All-Stars. Well, 2 other All-Stars.
Yeah.
And even, I'm sorry, looking at the stats, you got Giannis stats way better than him.
You got John point guard too?
Yes,
he plays point
guard.
You gonna put LeBron at point guard?
I'm playing. If he plays the point guard position, I'm going to consider.
He doesn't play
him
the point guard the whole game.
He plays most of the game.
Plays the game as he starts as their point guard, bro.
So there's a lot of guys who bring the ball up who are not.
But he starts as the point guard position.
I just think Kyrie's the top 5.
Kyrie's a phenomenal.
Sure. We could get into that in another episode.
I don't know.
This guy can drive the basket.
I truthfully don't know about that. But now off to our next topic. We had the year's over. You know, this is going to be our last podcast of the year. We might record another one, but that won't get out till next year, 2017. And looking at this year, I was wondering what's the best performance of the year. This season alone, we had, well, let's say this season when I say this year. But we had some epic performances, man. Had a bunch of epic ones. We had the Stephen Curry one, getting 13 threes in a game.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Chris Paul one getting, oh my God, the other day, what was
20 assists with no turnovers.
Yeah. Then you mentioned, I think Clay was on that list, I believe.
Clay had 60 points in 29 minutes.
Who else?
Was it Kevin Love dropping 34 in the first
quarter.
half?
And I think
the first quarter.
Yeah, first quarter. And I think Anthony Davis is one of his monster games were on that list too.
But how are we not going to add on what's his name? Russell Westbrook he had like 45, 11, 11. Dropping 45 points and dishing out 11 dimes.
And getting boards and playing some good defense.
That's phenomenal.
I don't know. I think about it. I don't know who I would give it to. Because there's been so many crazy performances in the NBA season. It's kind of tough to pick right now.
I have mine set. Jesus, do you have yours? I mean, do you have in your head?
I know who mine is too, but it's tough to say. There's arguably, they could be all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's definitely hard to question, but I definitely do have my performance.
And who is it?
It has to be just because Russell Westbrook was later on. This is talking about earlier segment part. Klay Thompson dropping 60 points in 29 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
mine too.
all right. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Okay, we can all talk about
what
it.
stands out to me that the most out of that one is he held the ball for 90 seconds and took 11 dribbles. What are we?
Yeah,
I understand.
took the
Curry,
words right out of my
Curry
mouth.
dropped 13 threes, but we've seen people come close to that. I mean, we obviously, it's not like Klay Thompson broke a record or any sorts, but it wasn't even how much points he put up, it's how he did it.
Yeah.
And it almost looked effortless. He's a spot up shooter, and he was chucking. Let's be real. He was chucking shots.
He just catches and shoots. And he didn't play the fourth quarter. Like that's the thing to remember there. If he would have played the last quarter, he would have had easily 10 more points, and he would have had 70. A player to have 70 points, like in an NBA game, like that's people.
He went 21 for 33 that game. Do you understand that?
That's fans that go to NBA games like and talk about like, oh, who had like 60 points or 70 points. Klay would be in that conversation, like, yeah, that man Klay Thompson was on that night, man.
Yeah.
He had 60 points.
And
You know what I mean?
60 or 61?
60.
yeah.
And
On
this
the
is
dot.
and this is why I talk about Klay Thompson. People don't. I feel like he gets no shine. Like this man,
No.
he has a 60-point game, and then has what was the most points in one quarter,
37.
which we don't talk about. Like this man, I would love to see Klay go to another team and maybe get his own team. Like, maybe he doesn't have the personality to do it.
I think he does.
But I would love to see it. This man's he's fire. Like yesterday, he dropped 24.
The thing is, every time we see a player with so much potential on a team, we always say, I would like to see him going to a different team. But every time we see a player that he's the only person on the team, like Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, we say, I would like to see that player play with another person. Like, so it's kind of weird to cross the line, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Like
a good
when
point.
we talk about that Boston trade, I would love to see that.
Yeah,
Boston
I think it's fair for
trade
each
so
team, man.
much.
It'd be fair for both
I
teams.
honestly,
Oh my
I
God.
still think
Yeah.
KD is the weakness of the Warriors, though. But yeah, I think by far the greatest performance of the year has to go to Klay.
Yeah.
I like Klay a lot. Like this man's a multiple All-Star for a reason. He's a two-sided player. You know what I mean? He just comes up in big moments. Remember, he's the reason why they went to the finals last season. Let's be honest. Against the Thunder, if it wasn't for Klay, they would have went home and we would have seen Thunder versus Cavs. Klay comes in clutch moments. His shot is phenomenal. And, you know, it's good to see guys who know how to play defense, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But off to our next topic. Speaking of the year, we all try to have a concise power rankings, but it's coming to the point where it's getting a little debatable now. You know, it's not so clear and concise who is. Well, it is. Not even. It's kind of concise who's the top team, who's the worst team in top 10. Like, so Jesse, you want to start off with your power rankings?
Yeah. Mark Stein released power rankings here, and I only disagree with a few teams here.
The most respect to Mark Stein. Obviously, you probably never listened to our podcast. You know, he's a professional.
Yeah,
he's a phenomenal.
He knows a lot about ball, and we do
just,
too.
You know, and once again, yeah, you know, it's all about opinions and stuff like. And we just see different things that somebody else might not see.
Yeah.
And power rankings are always different on other reporters or podcasters. Opinions basically. So you know what I mean. We're just showing you what we have and what they have.
And we're only gonna do top 10 teams in the NBA right now. Number one, I have Cleveland Cavaliers, and Jesus agrees with me.
Most definitely.
Yeah, we were talking about this off mic, and Christian says Warriors should be number one.
I'll get to it. Just do yours.
I have Cleveland at 1. I'll give Golden State 2. I said Spurs at 2, but if you think about it, the Golden State Warriors are number 1 in the West right now, and they have 4 All-Stars on the team, so I'll have them at 2. Spurs 3, Toronto 4, Houston 5, Celtics at 6, Memphis Grizzlies at 7, and then I have the Utah Jazz at 8.
What? None.
Oh, okay. Then the Los Angeles Clippers 9 and Jazz 10.
How do you feel about that,
Jazz.
Jesus? Well, you want me to give mine?
Yeah, we'll go each other first.
Yeah, do that. Yeah.
Mine, I have Cavs obviously at number 1. You know what I mean? When you're losing by 14 to the Warriors and somehow come away with the W, you have to be number 1. Golden State number 2, obviously 4 All-Stars. Maybe you have 2 MVP candidates maybe later on in the season. Spurs number 3, obviously, because that's a classy choice. They come, they do work, they go home with W's and do the same thing the next day. Number 4, I put the Raptors. Obviously in the shadows of the Cavs, but also have to give them credit what they do. Kyle Lowry, DeRozan, the beginning of the season, definitely an MVP candidate. Slowed down a little bit, but you know what I mean. It's the mid-season form. Rockets number 5, just because they caught fire midway, getting 10 wins. It sucks to see Capella go down with a knee injury, but I think somehow they're gonna come away with some W's. I know they lost against the Spurs recently, but they're pretty. When Capella comes back, I can have an argument that they're pretty hard to be stopped on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
I got. I'm doing Mark Stein's. My bad. I read his over again.
I think you had a similar top 5.
Yeah, right? My top 5. I don't know how I just got off. I had the Rockets at number 4.
Oh, okay.
I had the Rockets at number 4 just because why I said that they can be an unstoppable team.
Mm-hmm.
Raptors at 5. Just because, like I said before, they're a phenomenal team. But remember, you have an easier schedule when you play on the East most of the time. Number 6. Have the Clippers just because they went on the run, have a phenomenal defense. Yeah, they have injuries right now, which happen to every team, but somehow they still get W's. Yeah, they lost to the Lakers, but once again, we talked about their teams. The starters are pretty spotty. Thunder at 7, just because those are raw wins. Those are raw, straight up grinding out W's. Just you have one phenomenal player and guys who are basically following him to victories. Grizzlies at number 8 because the highest paid player is not even out on the court right now. They're still somehow catching W's. They beat the Warriors this season. They got some old guys on that team too, which is it's hard to get teams against these. It's hard to get wins against these young teams just how they run so much, but somehow they keep beating teams at the end of the day. Number 9, I got Celtics. Just because I think the Celtics are going to catch fire right now, especially with the win over the Knicks. I could see them running away with maybe like 10 games in this next run that's coming up. And at number 10, I got to put the Jazz. Just because the Jazz are playing solid basketball with another team that doesn't have a substantial all-star on their team. They don't have
Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, Gordon Hayward. He probably won't even make the all-star team.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's impressive. 18-13, and you're floating in the West from a team that wasn't even close to being as good as they are this year. Mm-hmm. They got some guys who are just playing phenomenal basketball.
See, my list is a little different than you guys. I mean, I think if you don't have these 10 teams in your power rankings of top 10, then you're completely looking at something wrong. Maybe you have the Hornets into it, but Hornets are way too inconsistent for it.
Yeah, they just lost to the Nets, you said, right?
Yeah, it's way too inconsistent for any games. But, all right, so I was trying to debate Cavs, Warriors. I was thinking about the game yesterday as well. But the way I saw it is Warriors did dominate them for a lot of the game. They did. They really did. I mean, yeah, they held. Even though Warriors...
No J.R. Smith.
I understand that.
And only 3 people on the bench.
But this is as of right now. Also, that's how it is, and I don't know.
They do have the better record, though.
They do have the better record.
Okay.
They both lost to the Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta, just because they won last night, I gotta have the Cavaliers with a slight lead in first over the Warriors. And then I got the Warriors number 2.
And that's gonna happen the whole season. It's gonna jump up and down.
It's the top 2 teams in the league. So.
Spurs number 3.
Okay.
Raptors number 4.
Okay.
Rockets number 5, and then this is where my list gets different than everybody else's. I got Celtics number 6. They're one of the hottest teams in the league right now by far.
Okay.
They just got all healthy. The reason their record is spotty is because they had Horford missing Horford is a key player on that team. They had Crowder missing, another key player.
I was going to mention that.
They're 2 top 4 players missing in the early half of the season. So
and Isaiah Thomas is cooking. We
and
discussed that
I don't think it's any irony that Horford and Crowder are back and now they're so hot as they are. You know what I mean? I don't think that's any coincidence. And I do think the reason Isaiah Thomas is cooking right now is because Horford is back. You know, it's just, it gives you feed off of that energy and you feed off of that good playing
Remember,
basketball.
when you have a guy who plays such a good post offense, it drags guys towards the rim. Yeah. And, leaves Isaiah Thomas and his dagger-like shots to put points on the board and to, get these 3-and-D guys open like Crowder and even
Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart and Avery Bradley.
Yeah.
These guys opportunities to shoot the ball with no one in their face.
Yep. And then I got number 7, I think I'm on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Six,
I got number
Celtics.
7. Yeah, I had Celtics number 6. So 7 as Grizzlies, because they're hot right now. I don't know how,
Yeah.
but they're hot right
Yeah,
now.
like Jesus pointed out, they don't even have Mike Conley right now. And they're still playing very, very good
They
basketball.
beat the Cavs. They beat the Warriors. I feel like that's enough to earn this number 7 slot as is. Then number 8, I got the Clippers, because even though they have been losing a little more lately, their inconsistent losing is still better than a lot of teams in the West. We gotta face it as is. And then I have number 9, Utah Jazz, because they are getting it done. They're healthy right now.
They're cooking, man.
Gobert, man, I said Draymond, defense player, best in the league.
Arguably, could be Gobert.
Arguably, and I can make an argument for that.
Oh yeah, with Gobert, he's not a guy who's gonna drop 30 points
Or lead the team.
and he's not even a guy who's gonna see number on stats, but just his presence on the floor is intimidating alone. Just because he affects shots, he doesn't have to block it. But if he gets his hand up, you know how hard it is to shoot a ball over a guy who's 10 feet in the air when he jumps.
Yeah.
He's better than what the stats make him look like.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Then number 10, I got the Thunder, and as good as Westbrook is doing, Westbrook can't be the whole team. You know what I mean? And we were talking earlier how he needs another piece, and I think if he was to have another piece, it might even jump up to top 5, maybe?
Yeah, like OKC, they're 19 and 12. They're not too far away from all these other teams who are doing well. Rockets are 23 and 9. They're 3 games behind them.
I do see a slight ease in the Thunder schedule. To be honest, they haven't been facing too many hard teams.
As of right now, though.
I follow the Lakers schedule. Obviously, as a Lakers fan, I follow their schedule in every game, and I feel we had a way tougher schedule than the Thunder so far.
Oh, of course.
Which I'm not even trying to compare the teams. I'm just trying to put it into perspective.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I see the Thunder facing teams like Kings and like the bottom of the East and
the Suns.
it's just not
teams
really
to throw out there. Yeah,
teams
I
that
agree.
aren't really impressing me at all. You know what I mean? Like I haven't seen them. I mean, they did face the Clippers. They lost to the Rockets. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just feel they can't. They did just beat the Celtics, but I feel like just beating a team doesn't really determine everything.
Yeah.
The Celtics came back and had a phenomenal showing against the Knicks. So I don't know. That's how I see mine.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
when everything's clicking, that's where I see these teams ranked. And
Now, quick.
feel free to post your top 10 power rankings. Tell us what you think we got wrong. Sure, we're not perfect.
Now, quick
Everybody
question.
had different opinions.
Quick question I want to ask you guys. What team out of the top 10 we listed here, which we have, what team are you most surprised in that is in the top 10?
Who isn't or is?
Is not in the top 10.
I would have to say maybe the Hornets.
Okay.
Just because they're a very, very young team. We obviously know that. And they have guys who are playing great, like Kemba Walker. I feel like he never has get enough talk about through the league of being a really, really good point guard.
Yeah.
A guy
He's very
who
underrated
gets
player.
guys open and who can shoot the ball really well.
I'm sorry. Kemba Walker got better stats than Kyrie, too. I know there's a lot of Kyrie stands.
It's hard to say.
He's not better than Kyrie.
Yeah,
Bro.
and
He's playing
Batum.
on that
He has to be the best 3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
Plays phenomenal defense at such a hard position in the league today because you have such great small forwards and even shooting guards that play small forward.
When you say this 3-and-D, what are you referring to?
A guy who could shoot the 3
And play some defense.
and play great defense. We're
clarifying.
talking about the Jay Crowder, Trevor Ariza's.
Kawhi Leonard even.
Kawhi Leonard is a star. A 3D guy he's in the middle of not being a superstar, but plays both of the ends of the ball really, really well.
Just breaking it down because I was confused at times.
Yeah.
Want everybody to know.
Yeah, Batum, we've seen him when he used to play with the Trailblazers. If he
Yeah.
was
And-
open,
played phenomenal.
Batum
oh
is,
my god,
man, he low key, he gets there with triple doubles.
he's sitting
He
on
teases it.
Yeah,
He loves to tease it.
it's another guy like a Rudy Gay who would be solid 18 points, and you'd be like, well, when does this guy average 18 points?
Yeah.
Who else is Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is trying?
I was gonna mention
he's
him,
trying to
too.
develop that shot. It's really hard. So some of these athletes, but
His rebounding has been incredible.
yeah, his
he
rebound
plays
is
really
awesome.
good
He
defense,
plays
too. Solid
athletic
defense.
basketball. I want to
Good
see.
athlete.
I would love to see Frank Kaminsky, play a little more ball. See his game how it is because I feel like he could be like Pau Gasol. Even Cody Zeller. You know what I mean? He doesn't get talked enough because he's a grinder, a guy who just grabs boards and affects shots. So I think they're definitely gonna make the playoffs. And in a couple of years, we see them flirting around like the Toronto Raptors.
Okay.
For me, most surprising team not to make this list has to be the most surprising team to me all year, and it's been the Trailblazers, man.
Oh. Okay.
The Trailblazers, they just
Are you upset that they're not a top 10 team or they're not top 10? Well,
top 10 anything.
Yeah.
Top 10, well, they top 8 and not even the top 9 in their conference.
Well, there's a couple teams because we can say the freaking Pacers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to say that too. Like
my answer is the Bulls.
we can say the Bulls too. They're number 9 in the East. It's
I can see why they're not.
Yeah,
surprisingly, because we all said in the beginning of the season
they were in our first power rankings. This just shows in our first power rankings we did have the Bulls. I don't think we had the Rockets. We didn't have the Grizzlies. We didn't have the Jazz.
Yeah, it always can flip flop over.
And we did have the Hornets. So it's just showing you how this year is progressing and how it's changing.
But going back to the Trailblazers, I can understand why they're not in the top 10 because their defense is so horrible. I'm pretty sure they're ranked maybe 29th or 28th in defense efficiency, so I can understand why they're not in the top 10.
Is Evan Turner, is he a cancer? Like
he's not doing anything right
this
now.
Man had so much potential.
He did good at Celtics, so he can't be a cancer.
Well, I'm saying Celtics couldn't make it past a certain hump. When he was on the Pacers, really didn't do anything effective. And this is a guy who is supposed to be a guy who could drive the floor up the court, who can get guys open, who could shoot decent. But
especially
we haven't
drafted second overall out of Ohio State going to Philly.
We haven't really seen him be substantial or be effective on the offensive or defensive side of the ball.
Okay.
Which, you know what I mean? If you want your name out there, you got to do something. You got to make a difference.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, and I think it's about that time to go on to our next and almost final segment. And that's going to be the fast break segment. We have one round left. Jesse and Jesus are tied right now, 2-2. You guys both won 2 arguments. And to break this down, as I chew my Airhead Extreme, because I'm in love with them and I got them for Christmas.
You plug?
Yeah, I'll plug this to anybody. And if they could send me some, I'll love that too. But the fast break segment, now this is where I throw questions at them. Usually they're blind to it. In this case, they knew the questions as we did it last podcast.
Yeah.
Usually they're blind to it and they have 5 minutes to answer and to debate which answer they chose is better. And I, as a judge, will determine whose argument I felt was more correct. And this argument today is what team has a brighter future, the Lakers or the Timberwolves? And Jesse, well, they both said Lakers at the same time.
Yeah, and then Jesus said he wanted to take the challenge and do Minnesota, which I respect.
When I look back at it now, I feel like the Timberwolves are not a challenge, but when we get to the argument, I'll tell you why.
Okay. Yep, and I really,
it's gonna be a good one.
I really recommend for you guys to hear that podcast, to hear the whole argument. Due to time constraints, we couldn't finish this off, but we will finish it off right now. And let me get the clock ready. We have Jesse having the Lakers. Jesse said Lakers first, so let me keep it like that. He will start first. And now.
Okay, when you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, they're obviously the bigger marketed team. They have the better future because, one, they just drafted Brandon Ingram. Potentially, he's the next Kevin Durant. He's in his rookie season right now. Luke Walton is smartly using him right now. And then if you look at the rest of the team, they have D'Angelo Russell, who's playing phenomenal without Kobe Bryant, who just retired last year. Farewell, Kobe. But D'Angelo Russell last year was held back, and he had all the drama with Nick Young and his old ex-girlfriend thing. And D'Angelo Russell, when healthy, he's potentially going to be one of the best point guards in the league. And the fact that he has Brandon Ingram with him now, too, potentially he could be the next Kevin Durant. Come on now. That's a dynamic duo right there. And people forget, Julius Randle, the way Luke Walton is working him right now, he could potentially be one of the best power forwards in the game in a few years, too. And Larry Nance's of the world, he's developing really fast. He's really good, high potential. And then the Lakers have an outstanding bench, which people tend to forget. Lou Williams is putting up like 18, 19 points a game right now. And Nick Young has played very well ever since he broke up with Iggy. So I mean, if you really think about it, the Lakers right now, they have the brighter future because, one, the young talent they have, they don't have Kobe Bryant anymore, which is hard to say because he's arguably one of the best Lakers ever. And two, it's the bigger marketed team because who wouldn't want to come to Los Angeles and play for them? Yeah, and I understand that if you're going to count on me here with the talent coming to LA, but eventually people are going to want to play with D'Angelo Russells of the world, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Larry Nance, all those type of players, and potentially win a championship ring because Minnesota will not win a championship in the next few years.
Well, your whole argument was, it could be and eventually and maybe. When we look at the Timberwolves right now and they have top 10 positions, Andrew Wiggins right now is a top 10 small forward. There's guys you can't really argue next to him. Karl Anthony Towns, top 10 big man in the game without a doubt. A guy who GMs who know what they're talking about would want to start their franchise with. This is a guy who was average a double-double for the next 15 seasons most likely, and it does help when you're getting coached by one of the greatest big men to ever play the game, the big ticket, KG. Zach LaVine started coming to his own, getting more minutes, and you see that he can actually score the ball efficiently, just like the other guys with him. They can basically play the speed ball, and yeah, right now they're not doing too well right now with their defensive issues. But Chris Dunn, just like you said, Brandon Ingram is going to come into his own. Chris Dunn's going to come into his own. He's going to be
good point.
Top 15 point guard most likely. You know what I mean? When you have two ultimate all-stars, like these guys will be all-stars. Andrew Wiggins maybe not make it because there is some great small forwards like Kawhi and KD, but maybe even most likely next season, Andrew Wiggins will be an all-star. Karl Anthony Towns could be an all-star this year without a doubt. One of the best guys around the rim. He can spread the floor out like no other. You don't see big guys. Julius Randle can't spread the floor like Karl Anthony can. He doesn't make guys play double on him, just like Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins looks. They compared him to Kobe, the way he's playing, just taking his own shots and being more responsible, being a leader on that team. Right now they're struggling. Last season they did really well, and I could just see them going, further into the future, being even better, and maybe being a top 10 team. I mean, a top 5 team in the West.
You guys are allowed to interrupt now.
Okay. Well, first off, I think the reason why the Lakers have the better future. Well, one, who wants to play in Minnesota? It's cold there. Mm-hmm. So it's nicer in Cali.
Yeah. Cold like Minnesota.
Yeah. I mean, if you really think about it,
anybody wants to go somewhere they can win.
Yeah. But I really think it's going to be LA instead because there's more pieces there right now. They have the better winning record right now. And a few weeks ago, they were potentially going to trade maybe a Karl Anthony Towns, which was stupid, and Andrew Wiggins, a Zach LaVine, or a Chris Dunn for like a big name. But who could they get to come to Minnesota if they're going to give all away this talent?
And they came to the realization that they can't trade them because they are the star that they are looking for. The thing about LA, the thing about going to LA is that you have the potential to live up to. Some guys don't like that, to have, could you be like Kobe? Could you be like Shaq? When you go to Minnesota, you could start your own future. You could create your own legacy, which stars like to be their own team. Like, it's KG's team, but he never led them to a championship. Now, you could be Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins to lead a franchise who hasn't won a championship. I don't think they even have won one because they were just created in the early 80s, you know what I mean? It could start their own legacy, and we would see the team flourish in such a small name market.
Okay, but if they start their own legacy...
We are at 5 minutes, but I'm going to let them continue to go 2 minutes because it is really hard to judge as is.
If they start their own legacy now, legacy takes time. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and it's going to take multiple seasons for the Minnesota Timberwolves to, in my opinion, be a contender. Mm-hmm. Like... Honestly, I could really see the Lakers with the roster they have right now and the big free agents over the next few years in the summer. I could really see the Lakers being maybe a top 5, top 4 team in the West and contend for a title. In 5 years, I could really see the Lakers contending for an NBA championship. In 5 years, I can't see Minnesota.
You're lying to yourself if you can't see that because they're one piece away from having a big 3, or even Zach LaVine coming into his own and being an all-star. Because we know these guys will be all-stars without a doubt. And if Tom Thibodeau gets his time right or gets his coaching correctly, he's a top 5 coach without a doubt. When he went to Chicago, going to multiple Eastern Conference Finals, Luke Walton, I think he's doing a great job, and he has won multiple championships. It's going to take him a couple years to become a full-out leader like a Tom Thibodeau. And let's be honest, the Timberwolves are one move away from being a top 3, top 4 team.
Yeah, but if you think about it,
we're waiting for these guys like D'Angelo Russell and and Ingram to get older, to develop.
Okay.
Andrew Wiggins, he's there. Karl Anthony Towns is there.
At the end of the day, the players have to play, and the coaches have to coach. Obviously, Tom Thibodeau, I'll agree, is the better coach right now, but Luke Walton has, in my opinion, better potential because Tom Thibodeau is struggling right now, and at the end of the day, the players have to play, and Tom Thibodeau isn't really impressive right now. I think he was the more dominant coach in Chicago, and he should have stayed there because that was his type of system. Yeah. He has to grow with these players.
Once again, very first season with the team, we don't know what could happen. Things could turn around like that.
Yeah. Okay. We're good.
All right. You guys could go 30 more seconds each. All right, 30 more seconds each because this is really hard to judge.
Okay.
30 seconds on Jesse.
I mean, the Lakers, they have the better record right now, and like I keep saying, like they have the better roster as of right now. And the free agents this summer, Russell Westbrook just got signed. Kevin Durant, not LeBron James. Kevin Durant, and all these type of players. Like, what if Kevin Durant went to Los Angeles Lakers? They wouldn't be a contender like that? Come on now.
Well, yeah, without a doubt, they'll be a contender. But when Timberwolves, once they start seeing, wow, they're one more piece, they can sign.
They're not
great.
One more piece.
Yeah, they are one more piece away from being great. You have guys who are averaging, Wiggins is averaging 22, 23 points a game. Karl Anthony Towns is 18 and 10. These guys can catch wins. They can catch fire. They beat a great team like the Warriors last season. This team just has better potential. They did beat them last season. They just have so much more potential because we see what Karl Anthony Towns is about. He's Rookie of the Year. Two Rookies of the Year.
What I heard in this argument was a lot of things unsaid. Jesus, you could have said how Lakers don't have a draft pick. Well, they have a draft pick this year, but it's top 3 protected. So if they don't fall within top 3, which they most likely aren't, they're not getting another piece. That's one thing you could have said. Jesse, you were naming players, and you forgot Jordan Clarkson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm disappointed. I didn't say that. Wow.
You forgot Jordan Clarkson, and you also said in the beginning of the argument, you might want to hear this again, Tom Thibodeau might be better right now. He's not better right now. By any means.
No, I think he's just the better overall coach, I might have said.
Yeah, and I disagree with that as well. But
Tom Thibodeau not a better overall coach.
Than Luke Walton?
Yeah, Tom Thibodeau.
So.
You said better overall coach right now.
Yeah. Like, he knows more about the game aspect.
And remember,
not the team
Luke
record.
Walton is going back to a team that he played for many seasons. Tom Thibodeau.
You're not arguing with me.
Yeah,
you can't argue with me. I'm the judge.
Just my man Tom.
But I did say the Lakers did have a better record, though, as of right now.
I wish the way Jesus was arguing is almost like when I was hearing it that the Wolves were a better team right now, you just weren't convincing me. Like, if you would have convinced me that Lakers are a better team right now, and that's showing more. I mean, Jesus just said how Wolves beat the Warriors last year. You could have said how Lakers beat them this year. You know what I mean?
And they beat them last year too.
Yeah, ironically.
Okay.
But I just felt you didn't big up how good Lakers are right now and how in the beginning of the season they were even in the playoff contention where Timberwolves aren't even getting close. I feel like you could have bigged up how good the Lakers have been and how shocking, and you could have bigged how disappointing the Timberwolves been. If you would have just said in the beginning of the argument, well, one, we're talking about the most surprising team of the league, Lakers, and the most disappointing team in the league. Obviously, you can exaggerate. It's an argument.
I tried to focus more on the question.
Yeah.
The future.
Yeah, the future.
And also, Jesus isn't lying when he says that they got Wiggins, they got Towns, and they got Levine, who are just absolutely monsters. And I wish you would have said how, Jesse, they're averaging. I'm pretty sure Levine is averaging 20 right now. Let me check that out.
Yeah,
too.
I'm pretty sure he did. He scored like 40 the other night.
I'm pretty sure he's averaging damn near close to 20 at least. And they're still not getting it done with 3 players averaging more than 20. Lakers don't have that privilege. We don't have anybody averaging 20. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there was a lot of things unsaid. But, so yeah, for this argument, I will give it to Jesus.
Wow.
You feel the salt? Do you feel the salt? Oh. And you have a Laker fan.
Oh my God!
Coming from a Lakers fan, it was.
Mm-hmm. Wow!
You gotta admit though, Timberwolves.
I wish there was another judge, to be honest, because it was very close. That's why I gave him as much time as possible.
Damn,
the thing is, when you're looking back at the Timberwolves, the Lakers. This is just talking right now, just off the dome. The Lakers do have a great team, and I see them coming into their own. But it's going to be just a little while just because it's such a point guard driven league that Jordan Clarkson and D'Angelo Russell is not going to get a lot of shine for a couple seasons because Russell Westbrook's still young, Kyrie's still young, Steph Curry's in the talk, and Karl Anthony Towns is becoming a top 5 big man overnight.
Okay.
And Andrew Wiggins is becoming a top 5 small forward because they're struggling right now. We can name 3. We put Carmelo Anthony because he could still always be a dagger. But that 5 position, can we not agree that maybe Andrew Wiggins is number 5 at the small forward position?
Maybe.
Just think of the top of your head. Well, we're going to talk about the same 3 guys, but he's
LeBron, Carmelo.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Paul George, I got above him.
I forget. I always forget because Paul George flies around. Oh yeah, Kawhi, that's what I'm saying. Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, but
I still put Carmelo above him.
I mean, just flirting around in that. Remember,
I hope so, Christian.
But how old is Andrew Wiggins? It's 23.
Yeah,
I think he's younger than me, and I'm 23. Yeah, so, you know what I mean. Zach LaVine, I think he's 22. Karl Anthony Towns not even 21 yet.
Personally, I think the Lakers have a better future because of Larry. Just because I agree with you, Jesse looked at me crazy. Just because I agree with you don't mean you give a better argument. You forgot Jordan Clarkson, who's arguably our best player on the team.
I do like Larry Nance, but
I'm mad I didn't say him.
Yeah, Larry Nance is really good.
Did you peep that?
Yeah.
He didn't say Jordan Clarkson. That's the first thing I've
I didn't say that.
And but that's a guard position too, which. You know what I mean? It's just hard to really.
Lou Will is on a long contract, which is great for the Lakers.
How old is Lou Williams?
He's
not that old, to be honest.
He's like early 30s.
That's old.
And he's putting up 19 a game? Yeah. And he's coming off the bench.
He's 30 on the die. He's not that old.
Yeah.
We have him, I think, until he's 34. So it's not like we're getting him in at 38.
It's just hard to say guys who are maybe going to be all-stars when we know for a fact that Karl Anthony Towns is going to turn into a scrub overnight.
I know for a fact D'Angelo Russell will be an all-star and Jordan
It's just hard. Dude, look at all the point guards. Look at all these guards. They're just they're dominant.
But they're going to get older.
Yeah, but we're talking about 5 seasons. You don't think Karl Anthony Towns...
How many great point guards are there in the West right now? There's Westbrook, there's Lillard, and there's CP3.
There's no
James Harden.
James Harden.
James Harden.
We want to count him. Let's throw some other.
And guards in general, the way they do it is they pick the top 2 guards. They got those guards we just mentioned, and CJ McCollum, Klay Thompson,
as a shooting guard?
Curry.
Yeah.
Mike Conley as a point guard.
And Mike Conley is.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever made All-Star team.
No, but that's what I'm saying. A guy like Mike Conley can't. And you're not saying Mike Conley's not better than D'Angelo Russell.
Mike Conley's also older.
Yeah, I know.
Mike Conley's better than him right now, obviously.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's just hard with such a driven.
That was a good argument, though.
It was a very good argument for both sides, and I do agree with the Lakers. And that's not even just me being a fan. It was just that this season has taught me a lot, and about both of these teams. And they were at one point debating if they even wanted to keep their big 3. So that to me is something huge, and that questioning isn't.
They do it with every team.
They haven't questioned Lakers, man.
Because let's be honest, if you put D'Angelo Russell on the board, it's not going to attract anybody.
What?
If you put D'Angelo Russell right now on the board, who are you attracting? Who really wants a guy who's coming into his own when he's not already in his own? You know what I mean?
Off the bat, I can see the Sixers immediately.
So now he's going to
you're
the worst teams in the
You're
NBA.
bugging if you don't think D'Angelo Russell is trade potential.
But who? If I put Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo,
people
Russell,
get traded for draft picks.
I understand
that people don't even know who they're gonna pick.
But
you're talking about D'Angelo Russell, who will be averaging 20 points a game.
But we have GMs
in the next 2 years.
Yeah, but we have GMs who obviously know what they're doing. You know what I mean? These guys are professionals, and they voted Karl Anthony Towns above Anthony Davis, Steph Curry.
Karl Anthony Towns isn't the best player on the team. Andrew Wiggins is.
Yeah, probably. He's a little older and got a little more. You know what I mean? Got a little more feet to him. But that's what I'm saying. These guys are GMs, and they would love to see. They would love to see Karl Anthony Towns. But you said right now, but we're talking about was an argument.
I'm ready to freaking argue, but unfortunately, can't go on to it anymore. Time is holding us back, and let's get into the upcoming games part of this podcast. We got the 28th, which is when. Oh, well, let's do. Sorry, I missed that on Tuesday. So we got the 27th Tuesday, Boston versus Grizzlies.
That's an up in the air game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Boston.
I'm gonna have to go with Boston too, just because they're probably still riding off the coattails of this game against the Knicks.
And Isaiah Thomas just playing really, really well.
Then we have my birthday, December 28th.
Hey, shut
My
up.
birthday,
He's only turning what, 15?
18.
Oh,
I'm
6
a
and a
grown man. We only have one good game, unfortunately, and it's Golden State versus Raptors.
Golden State.
Yeah,
Even though
it's at Golden State.
Even though Toronto did take it to them last time they played earlier
They
in the
did,
season. It was a
but,
pretty good
You
game.
know,
Then Golden State
they're
pulled
still
away.
catching fire.
Yeah, Golden State will get that win back. Obviously, losing against Cavaliers.
Then we have Oklahoma City at Memphis on the 29th.
Okay, so
I can see OKC just because Russell Westbrook's gonna outrun that old man team.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Memphis pulls an upset there though.
Yeah,
Grizzlies for me.
Okay.
Boston at Cleveland.
Cleveland.
yeah,
That'll be a good game though.
that will be.
That's
a
going to be
great
interesting.
game.
That's TNT. That's prime time. We also got Lakers playing that day. Dallas at Los Angeles, but I don't even want to see that.
Yeah,
That could be a good game. I give it to LA
Let's
though.
see. Clippers at Houston.
right now it has to be Houston. Yeah, because Blake Griffin being out really hurts their, the big men role.
Who knows
And,
if Chris
yeah,
Paul will play?
Yeah, his hamstrings are very tricky when you're running up and down that court at such a vigorous rate.
I'm gonna just do to the end of the year, and our final game will be Phoenix versus Utah. I'm kidding. It's gonna be. It's gonna be. We got two actually. New York at Houston,
Oh, Houston all the
Houston.
way. I'm sorry.
and Clippers at OKC.
I'm going to put OKC just because if CP3 is not back by the end of the year, it's
Yeah.
going to be a struggle for them. We just seen their starting team for Christmas Day.
Yeah. If CP3's back for that game, I could see Clippers maybe.
If
pulling it
CP3 is
out.
black.
Black,
He is black.
He's black.
And his brother is black too, Cliff. But nah, yeah, I see Thunder winning. If CP3 is gone, CP3 is playing. I got Clippers winning, man. All right, now this is gonna be the end of our podcast. The year is ending, and
Do you want to tell our subscribers a little bit of good news we got?
yeah. So
Forgot to mention that.
going into the end of the year, we got our podcast up on iTunes. So if you are listening to
Woohoo!
iTunes, well,
Please check it out.
well if
Subscribe.
if you're listening to
Be
an
big now.
yeah, I feel
Donate.
it feels that way. If you're listening to an iTunes, we do have a SoundCloud account. It's the same as iTunes, same with YouTube. It's the same name, All the Above Entertainment.
You know what I mean? And if you enjoy us, put us on your own social media, you know what I mean? Get us, more publicized.
Spread the word,
Spread
yeah.
the word. Guys who love, anybody, women too, if they love to hear some good sports talk,
And I'm just going to say, as the year's ending, my goals for the next year, 2017, I plan on doing a lot. We plan on doing a lot.
Getting
I
bigger.
plan on having this NBA podcast. I already have an MMA podcast with these boys. I plan on having a WWE podcast for those who watch wrestling, because I love that shit. I plan on having a music podcast, because I'm a big hip-hop head, as I look at my Kendrick Lamar vinyl right in front of me.
The goal.
I plan on uploading 2K, both NBA and WWE, on my YouTube channel. So, guys, definitely stay in
And-
store, and it's a big year to come.
And don't be surprised if you see us on camera too.
Yes, I
Didn't
do.
Didn't you say you want to do a movie podcast? You were talking about.
Oh, yep. We're also
Yeah.
thinking about a
Yep.
movie podcast. I do want to start filming.
I don't
It's
understand how
gonna-
we all have jobs. Well, besides Jesse, I don't know. I don't understand how we still all have jobs and somehow get all this stuff done. We
Yeah,
just, you know what I mean?
Jesus, he is a trooper. I wish I had a clapping button. Hopefully, we get that next year.
Yeah. We gotta upgrade
Jesus
the
has.
soundboard.
Jesus, what time do you have to wake up in the morning?
4:30.
4:30 in the morning, and it is.
It's like
it's
11:45.
midnight.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's midnight
goodness.
right now,
We
basically.
do it for the grind.
So,
He's a champ.
shout out to Jesus. Shout out to Jesse for doing absolutely nothing with his life and still showing up.
Hey, I go to college. I got a 4.0.
Yes, hey, keep that up.
Community college.
Shots fired.
While we're talking about our 2018, you guys got any bold predictions for NBA?
You said
2018.
Ooh.
Wow,
No,
skipping ahead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Times I've already won. No, just kidding.
we talking about our 2017. You guys have any bold predictions for 2017?
I don't know.
Talking NBA,
We
talking
have
NBA.
we have to definitely talk about some before the trade deadline. Who's going
Oh,
to
of
come
course. That's going to be a huge episode right
This
there.
is when we see teams right now. Who
Bold
are missing
prediction. Who's getting traded or who's
Blake Griffin?
Blake Griffin?
Really?
All right. Any bold predictions for you? It doesn't have to necessarily be
I can
trade.
see Melo leaving.
Yeah, probably
My
trade
bold,
clause.
my bold prediction is the Kings going to make the playoffs. DeMarcus Cousins is hot right
If you
now.
stop fighting reporters,
The Kings
Yeah.
is hot right now. Oh, God. We should have talked. We forgot to talk about that. His big, epic
Yeah. Game and
spitting his mouth guard out and
Yeah.
not really. And
Then he
got ejected. Then
came
didn't
back,
get ejected.
Then he got his mic cut off in the interview at the end of the game.
It's really
Boogie. The problem with Boogie right now is
he's not even that crazy anymore. People are
No,
gassing.
he isn't. But he's just hard to manage sometimes. His emotion. He's
very emotional.
He definitely wears his emotions on his sleeve. On his sleeve. He's a great all-star, and
Hell yeah.
if he doesn't stay with the Kings, he has to go to a team.
Has he made an All-Star team yet?
Yeah.
When?
He needs to go to a team that will benefit him and use him to the best ability.
But
I think it can be Kings, to be honest.
No, but I don't think it's
so.
the Kings. But I think he has to go somewhere who have not Miami, but have a guy like Pat Riley. Have a guy who's very stern, because Pat Riley he'll trade you tomorrow, and have an all-star who's better than Boogie, which is hard to see. A guy who's
the
better
best
than
center
him.
in the league, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
It really is. Who's coming close to him?
Boogie, Los Angeles invites you with open arms. Just saying.
Really unplugged.
Well, this is going to be the end of our podcast. Almost ending it exactly in 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, cool.
With that being said, have a good New Year's. Have a good
night.
holidays.
Be
Hope you had a
safe.
great Christmas. We are out.
Peace. See you next year.
Next year, baby.